Ed Bernstein Show. Now, here's Ed.
Well, we lost the Tropicana Hotel, but it doesn't mean that we lost everything inside, including Murray SawChuck.
How you doing?
And I need to ask you, okay, what do you prefer? Is it Murray SawChuck or Murray the Magician?
That's a great question, because it depends. People who meet me, they'll call me, or if they really know me, they'll just say SawChuck, which isn't even Murray included. So, but it's funny. It depends. If I do acting, it's always Murray SawChuck.
Right.
But when I'm touring, it's usually Murray the Magician, because in one sentence, you know what I do and who I am. They go, "Oh, that's the guy."
Right.
Because Murray's not that common, you know. It was John the Magician, but you're like, who the hell is John? You know.
Right. And you spent what, 11 years at the Tropicana Hotel?
Yeah. Long time.
It closed down.
Yep.
And no grass was growing under your feet when it closed down. Off to Australia, now you're going to Sweden. Now it gives you an opportunity to kind of branch out, spread those wings a little bit, and perform out of town.
I love it. Yeah, I did that for 18 years, really, before coming here, you know. And then when I was here, I toured, but I did 18 years on, in Europe and Japan, and on cruise ships and hotels, and I loved it, But I also love driving to work. That's the beautiful thing in Vegas, as you know. Get out of your house and see your wife and your dogs and cats, and then go to work and drive home. Not many people get that in entertainment, you don't get that. So
as you create that balance for yourself of traveling and doing residency in Vegas, and at the same time you're getting older,
of course.
So does that then favor more of the residency?
Yes, definitely. Like this last trip to Australia, as you know, it's a long flight. It's 18 to 32 hours, depending what your flight pattern is. And you land, you get the jet lag, and you got to do shows, and and I'm not 20 anymore. When you're 20, you're just so excited to get out of the world and see things, and I still am. But then also when you have your houses and your dogs and your cars and your wife, you kind of like to leave, but then it's a different lifestyle. When you're young, in your 20s, go for it,
It's easy.
Yeah, I still enjoy it, but like this, when I go to Sweden this trip, my wife's coming with me, so it'll be nice,
That's the win-win on
Of
that,
course,
right?
yeah, totally.
You grew up around magic. I know that we've talked before, and every kid starts with the basic magic kit, right? I mean,
of course.
You got a Siegfried and Roy one or something at the time, whether it was a Copperfield one or a Lance Burton one.
Right.
And everybody got one, right?
If you're a kid or you're a boy, usually you get the magic kits, right? Right. The girls got Barbies,
Right. So when you look at that first, and there you are. I mean, look at that.
Oh my God!
Devil.
I think that's when I was 15, I believe. I think so, 15 or maybe.
How long did it take you? What do they call that when you spread the cards out like that?
Do you know, to get those cards, that it's called fanning the deck? Do you realize those cards, to get them right, I taped the back of them. So I laid them out in a fan at home. Right. This was taken back in Burnaby, BC, where at Sears. I was a Sears portrait. Remember Sears had the portrait things? And so I taped the back of the cards. So when I held them, at least it would be a perfect fan, for the photo. I remember that, though, trying to get that right.
Look, now, Mary, you're bringing up a topic now because what you just did is gave me the solution to that trick.
I did.
And you got in trouble for that.
Did I ever?
Right.
I know, yeah.
You regret that or no?
I don't regret it. No, actually.
What happened? Let's tell the viewers
so what happens, so I do viral videos, and I've been doing these viral videos since 2015 on YouTube, from pranking police officers to doing bad parking at handicap stalls and parking attendants and homeless, helping the homeless, giving them money and turning, $1 into $100 for them. So but it's stuff that gets reactions. So this last thing we did about 2 months ago, my wife and I would love Lucy and Desi, Lucille Ball, and I love the Honeymooners. I love Dean and Jerry. So my wife is gorgeous, showgirl, but she's also never takes herself seriously. So I thought, let's do where I do a real cool magic trick, and you just bust me on it. That's it. Something like Lucille Ball would do with Desi Arnaz in the band, right? And so we did it. It literally took 8 minutes to shoot. We just banged it out, and then we uploaded it. My guy who produces my stuff, Seth Leach, all the time, he's my producing partner, uploads it. Within like 2 weeks, it does 65 million views. It just took off. Well, within that, because some of the tricks I did, my wife would give away. But these are all tricks you can buy on Amazon. These are things, they're easily found. And about 20, 30 magicians lost it across the world. I thought, that's the end of it. He's going against magic. I'm thinking, I do magic every day of my life, probably more than most ever will. I'm very lucky. And I'm like, no, I still work on stage as a magician, but they're really upset. So now they're writing petitions saying you should be banned from the club. So actually, ironically, I'm flying to LA today to meet the board at the Magic Castle to keep my membership, because they're like, well, you give away magic. So I'm presenting my
I mean,
case.
is that like a written rule somewhere that you can't reveal?
Not really, but there
solutions?
is written rules. Like in one thing in this club, there's a paragraph saying you're not allowed to give away secrets of magic through media, in person, or whatever the case is. But what people don't realize is, though, if you're teaching a trick to somebody, you're exposing it. It's just because you're using the word teach doesn't mean you're not exposing it.
Right.
It's just a very pretty word to say you're exposing magic. You know, like Penn and Teller have a thing on masterclass.com, you know, where you can learn how to act or grow vegetables or whatever you want. Well, just because you're teaching it doesn't mean you're not exposing it, you know? And I don't think it's a bad thing, you know, as long as you're not doing it vindictively or mean. You know, if you're doing it in the form of entertainment, you may not like it, you have an opinion, but there's a lot of acts out there, singers and dancers that people may not like. That's okay. You know, we're not out there to be loved by everybody. You know, entertainment's subjective, you know. So yeah, so that's the trouble I'm in this week.
So, so are you able in magic, if I know the name of a trick and I Google the name of that trick,
yes,
will I find a solution?
Nowadays,
most often?
you will, because I always tell people the minute the internet was invented, which was late 80s, early 90s there, and we got given to us, civilian people got given to us to use, we lost the code of ethics or secrecy in magic. We lost a lot of things. We lost brick and mortar buildings. We lost the middlemen. Look at Amazon. You know, we're buying stuff right from the factory now.
Right.
So not only magic was hurt by secrecy and stuff like that, because everything's so readily available, but so is other things, you know what I mean, that you could get or do, you know.
But it's a double-edged sword, because at the same time, you're inspiring young, upcoming magicians.
Correct.
I mean, they're going to study the trick,
That's right.
learn how to do it,
Yes.
get excited about magic,
Yes.
and go deeper, right? I mean,
Totally.
so it works both ways.
Totally, and if you look at the comments, literally, you know, this video did 65 million, I think it's up to 67 now, but there was 2.1 million likes, and I think there's over 1.1 million comments. Like,
wow.
That's a lot of comments. I mean, that's something that has to take
Do you read them? You read them?
No.
A million comments.
I read some of them, and,
Yeah.
then I just don't read the rest. If they're negative, I have no time. Because, you know, people love to sit at home and be their trolls, you know, at home. So, but if you look at all the comments, it's amazing how many people say, oh, my God, I want to buy this trick online. Where can I get it? You know, and you can just, it's on Amazon, you know. So I think it's not a bad thing, you know.
So as a kid, you got the magic box, the kit. What was your favorite trick within that kit?
That's a good question, you know.
It comes with the thumb.
That's
right.
The fake thumb and the little ball and vase
ball,
trick.
right, yeah.
And the cups and balls, you know, which are standard classic tricks. The one I really liked was they have these cards in there. You have like 6 cards, and they all have about 52 or 56 numbers on the cards. They're all different numbers. And what you have to do with those 6 cards, you pick one number off a card, and you memorize it. And we go through all the cards, yes, no, which card your number's on. And at the end of the 6, when they're all flipped over, I can tell you what number you chosen out of the 54 numbers, which looks pretty impossible. It's a mathematical.
Is it changing the
it's
order
equation.
of the cards?
Yeah, and which ones you say yes, and then you add up a certain number on the card. But no one knows what numbers you're adding up, because no one knows the code. But once you know where the code is on the cards, you can figure out what number they've chosen. But it's a great thing, because when you look at it, there's no way somebody could figure that out. And then when you know the secret, you kind of go, that's not bad.
Are you good at codes?
Not the greatest. I am, obviously, if I make my own code, I am. You know, whether you and I are talking about something and I say, hey, let's go for a chai latte. When I say chai latte, that means a joke or an inside joke or whatever the case is. Whereas everyone else is going, oh, they're going for a chai latte. But really, that might mean we're going to have a meeting about whatever, you know. But yeah, it's just, you know, but look, talking about Vegas and the Mafia with Tropicana, they used code for years. You know, way back in the days, walking around New York with the walkie-talkies they'd called, and they'd chat with certain code. They never dropped certain names until later they got a little more loose.
Sometimes you got to talk in code to stay out of jail. Right?
Exactly, that's it, right? You know,
so at the Tropicana, you had an ongoing show there for 11 years. We have
12,
a couple, I think, clips. I'd like to show one of them.
Sure, yeah, go for it, yeah,
A little bit of what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, there we are.
You know, I'm very fortunate to be doing what I do for a living, and I've been doing this since the age of 7. I'm originally from Vancouver, Canada, but I'm in the States now for over 30 years now. And I had a mentor in magic, and his name was Marvin Roy. He went by the stage name Mr. Electric, and he lit light bulbs in the palms of his hands for over 50 years, from the 1940s to the late 1990s. One of the greatest acts in the world, and people still to this day do not know how he did it. Fortunately, we lost him last year at 95 years old. He had an amazing life. He also gave me a piece of his collection for my collection. He also gave me the rights to perform it, and I'm going to actually show it to you right now. And when I do it, it's exactly the way he did it. I didn't change a thing with the act. Even the mistakes in the act are part of his act as well. It involves a 500-watt light bulb and a pitcher of milk. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Almost got you. Go!
Yeah, very cool. So when you create that, is that an illusion or a trick?
Yeah,
How do you refer
illusion.
to it? Illusion?
Trick, yeah. Either way.
Where's the idea come from?
I think you try to figure out what looks impossible to somebody and then recreate that. You know, it's great sitting around with random people and they go, well, if you could do this, you'd be really a magician. That's a great idea, you know, or what do you think of this? Or could we look at a television and we're sitting at home and the TV has a couple of cartoons on it. Wouldn't it be cool if you just reach in the TV and pull out a cartoon? I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. So you build a TV set and you build this illusion on stage and now you show TV and you pull somebody out of the TV, you know. So that's how you come up with ideas. Something that just seems something we'd want to see, either pay for a ticket to go see you perform, you know, or watch you on TV, you know, so.
So how big a deal is your hair now in
Oh,
your
it is.
image?
It is. It's
Yeah.
really big. It's funny. Of course, I wore a hat because my hair is actually flat today, but because it was early and I just want to spike it up. That's the real reason. That's why I wore this fancy hat. It's still a big deal, you know, and I love it. You know. It's, you know.
Okay, so like before a show, what do you have to tease it
Oh
off?
yeah, it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. Once the hair is up and ready, it's good for 3 or 4 days. But when
I was once on an airplane going, flying from Vegas to New York, and sitting across from, it was a red eye, and sitting across from me in the aisle was Don King.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, so Don's,
Yeah.
you know, had that thing going on.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know, 20 years ago, so he was younger and had
course.
even more hair. So, you know, it's a red eye, and everybody's going to sleep at night.
Yep.
You know, and you kind of, you know, all of a sudden you get to New York, and the sun is out, and, you know, you
Wake up.
You wake up, and I looked over to my right, and Don King's hair was like flat top. You know,
that's funny.
You
It's
couldn't
like
even recognize the guy.
course.
I watched this happen. I watched the man open his eyes, wake up, touch his hair, take his seatbelt off, head to the bathroom.
Did he really?
And yes, and the first thing he did was spike up that hair, and it
That's
came
funny.
back out.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, so aware of it. Yeah, yeah. No, that's something we do. I think even when I take pictures of people, and I'm wearing a hat, I'll rough my hair up so they can have that look. Because you know it's like the Ronald McDonald thing. If you want a picture of Ronald McDonald, you want the red hair and the makeup. You know?
Marty Allen also
That's
did
right.
that a lot, right?
Of course he did. Always had his baseball bat cane.
Yeah.
Towards the end. Yeah, I got to work with him a few times.
Yeah.
What a legend.
You were born in British Columbia?
Yeah.
Vancouver?
Yeah, Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver, BC.
Yeah, Canuck.
Yeah, I know.
Canuck.
Good old Canucks.
But where'd the name SawChuck come from?
Well, SawChuck's Ukrainian, so I have 2 last names. So my father's name was John SawChuck, so I got his last name.
Right.
My mother's name was Arlene, and her last name was Murray, Scottish. So I got Murray as my first name, which is her last name, and then my dad's last. So I have 2 last names for my full name, Murray SawChuck, and my middle name is John, which is my father's name and his dad's name. But SawChuck actually comes from 2 lines because it's Ukrainian. Well, Terry SawChuck, the famous goalie. He's my cousin down that lineage.
He was the goalie on
the Red Wings and a
the
couple,
Red
and
Wings,
maybe, I think Canadians as well. He played 2 or 3 teams. And that was being a goalie when you didn't wear a mask yet. I mean, I don't even know how you could do that. And his face was pretty smashed up. And then on my mother's side was Samuel Clemens, which is Huckleberry Finn. Mark Twain was my cousin.
Hold on. Okay. Now, your mother was related to Samuel Clemens.
That's correct.
Mark Twain.
That's right. That's
right.
right.
As like like a
It was a long-distance cousin.
cousin? Okay.
Yeah, the Clemens, yeah.
So did your mom have a lot of writers in her family? Or
She
that
did
type
not
of
really, when you think of it, it came from her father's side, Mark Twain, and it's just, I keep forgetting that until we were talking before the cameras were rolling, that I have that lineage, and then the hockey side as well. But I'm not a great writer, and I'm not very good at sports. I'm not sure I didn't get that passed along to me too much.
That apple fell somewhere else.
Exactly, yeah. But the art thing, I'm into the arts course and being a magician, yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
I think I have another clip from your Tropicana show.
Sure, yeah.
I'd like to take a look at.
Of course, yeah. Let's check it out.
I need a new cell phone too.
It's, right, it's a good cover for it, right?
Yeah. Look, I mean, we had a really tough time here in Vegas during COVID. Most of the showrooms were down. Entertainers, your profession, out of work. So, what'd you end up doing during COVID?
Two things. Got to get to know my wife a lot better and hang out with my pets and friends and family who were safe and healthy. But I also, two things, started a landscaping company business with my wife. And then I also wrote a children's book. And we have 3 rescue pups, long-haired Chihuahuas. We love them to death. And one is really scared of people. Loves people, but scared. Will bark if you came to the house, but want to be here, but will bark under the tables and under the chairs. So my wife and I were first dating years ago. She would come over and watch a movie. Well, this is years ago. And one day when she decided to watch a movie and lie on the living room floor with a pillow and watch the TV against the wall, the one scared Chihuahua ran over and went asleep on the pillow beside her. I thought, that's cute. Same thing when she went to bed. Hop into bed, the Chihuahua, Bailey, would run up and go to sleep beside her. So I used to make a joke when I saw this, and I always said, oh, at nighttime, we're all the same size. Because the Chihuahua now could see her eye to eye and wasn't intimidated by her because she's not standing up. Yeah. And I thought, that's a cool name for a book. So I had one page. I just named it out of 37. So I spent about a year writing it during COVID. And it's just basically this little dog. And this kid, the kid looks like me, and he runs into all these animals, bears, giraffes, swans, butterflies. And basically it's a metaphor of not to judge people in the way they look or sound. But if you see them eye to eye, you understand them a lot better. So it's kind of my motto for life,
So you do have a writing background.
Maybe I do, but somebody proofread it for me, trust me.
It's there for you.
Yeah, maybe. Baby steps, right?
Yeah. So, all right, so you're taking off for Sweden.
I am, Saturday, yeah.
And, okay, you're going to perform several dates over there.
Yes.
You've been there before
Stockholm.
Performing?
Never have, I've been offered a few times. It just never worked out. So I'm going over there performing with Joe Libero, who's a magician. He has a theater over there. He had a show here at the Paris Hotel for a year or so called Inferno. Became very dear friends with him. Just come on over. Let's do a week together at my theater. So in Stockholm. So we're flying in Saturday. And we have shows the following weekend. Because, you lose a couple days getting there, and the jet lag and doing some PR stuff. And then 4 shows. So
who do you have to bring with you in order to do a show in a different country?
Depends. This time I'm flying myself because they already have their sound people over there. It's a cabaret theater that already has stage tech, so I can just train people there. My wife's coming over, and she'll be in the show with me just because she's going to come and hang, and she's also a showgirl.
And looks great.
Yeah, exactly. So why not? She looks better than I do. So, so she's going to be in the show for the hell of it, but normally it'd just be me. When I tour, most of the time I bring Lefty, my guest act, who's been in my show, the Tropicana, for years, and then also one of my sound guys to run sound. So it's a small operation because, it's all about overhead, when you travel and tour, so...
Now, since Tropicana is gone, but I suspect that you're going to be showing up somewhere in town very, very soon.
I will be. I'll be moving with the Laugh Factory, so we're in talks with 2 or 3 casinos right now. And then as soon as they lock that paperwork in, then we'll be able to tell you where we're going. But we're hoping mid-June to be somewhere, so we're pretty excited about that. Because it won't take very long to get up and running, So we have the show.
I've noticed, like when I watch comedy shows, that you can look at comedy and you can kind of identify a time period, like this looks like 60s to me,
That's
or
right.
80s, right? Is that true with magic also, or is magic more just timeless?
No, I think there is things you can see when it is dated a bit, and I think the problem a lot of times is magicians, the way they dress and wear certain things, they get locked into a brand, like my hair and glasses or whatever, and their outfits, but they don't change with the times either. They stick with that same look, and a lot like wearing suits and black tail and tie. But
that's traditional.
Yeah, but people don't realize people dress like that then because that's what the audience was wearing. And nowadays, when's the last time you saw somebody in a tuxedo watch a show? I mean, lucky if they're wearing socks and shoes these days here, So you do have to change the times a little bit, I think, And the magic. People can Google things online. They can research things now. So you kind of got to be one step ahead of people, or at least be really interesting, charismatic, and really make you the reason they're watching what you're doing, not just the tricks. I think it's important, So.
You have a great, I actually put this on my phone. Let me find it for a
Sure.
second here. You had a great quote that...
I definitely have an opinion of the quotes. I'm not sure how great they are, but I do.
Let me find it. What did you say here? It is, okay. You said, I think that the future magic needs to be smarter than the audience, and right now it isn't.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
I think what's important with that is, you have to be ahead of the game. Nowadays, the audience is with you. There's so much saturation of seeing how things are done, Even when you watch these cool videos that aren't using real-time magic, say you are sitting here, right, and I snap my fingers and you disappear, and then you appear out of my coffee mug here. We can do that now with green screens and CGI. So nowadays, there's kids doing that. They have a big green screen in their bedroom, honest to God, and they have these big green screen onesies that you wear. So if you really don't know, if you wear green and there's a green screen behind you, you can vanish. And then also with green screens, you can put anything on it. That's what the weather people use and everything. So they'll show the video, get the views, then the next video, they'll show you how the video is made. So it'll be you sitting here in a green outfit, and there'll be a green coffee mug here, and then they'll show how you pretend to jump out a screen and appear in the mug, but people are just as interested in seeing that. And it's a green screen, And just because we're giving away that secret, we'll still watch a really cool video. We'll still be entertained. I always tell people, it's like going to Disneyland. From age 2 to 12, you believe in Mickey Mouse. You just can't believe he's there and you're hanging out. And then when you're 12 to 20 or 30 or 40, you realize Mickey's not real. But when you go there, you still get a picture with Mickey, and it's some young kid in a Mickey Mouse outfit, but you still believe in the magic for the day. You buy the popcorn, you do the rides, you get pictures of Mickey, and you post it going, hey, me and Mickey, because we want to believe, And we still believe, even though we know Mickey is not a real character, for that day, we're going to believe it. And we all do it, And I think that's really what magic is. It's about understanding, but also just enjoying it,
Can you use artificial intelligence to create an illusion or a trick?
I think now you can. I think the AI world is really interesting. I think it's going to make people need to be a lot more creative and also be more of a star. Like people I grew up with. I grew up watching the Howard Sterns, the Liberace's, the Phyllis Dillers, the Dean and Jerry's, because they became a brand. Like, they were very funny, but like Milton Berle, they became a brand because of who they were, not because the joke. A lot of those jokes were old jokes passed along, but they were popular because of who they were and how they did it. And I think more and more nowadays, it's lovely to do tricks on a screen on YouTube, because God knows I'm doing that a lot, but you really have to have that personality that people want to go, I want to meet him, or I want to meet her, and I'd like to see them in person because they're cool, not just doing the legwork.
You've been doing this for a long time. I assume you're in your 50s now.
Yeah, I just turned 50 last year. I cannot believe it. Yeah.
So when you're looking forward, I mean, is there an age limit for a magician?
I think I'll be on stage as long as people still want to come see me, and I can walk on stage. I also think it keeps you young, but you also got to know when it's time to go, hey, it was a good run. And, I think a lot of acts in the old days, as you've seen, some could have retired a little sooner, because they wanted to hang in there. Like the Frank Sinatras, you saw Frank amazing, and then he was great. And then those last couple of years, he wanted to be on stage. He didn't need to be, because it wasn't his best years. We were just excited to see him because he's still alive doing it. And it's Frank Sinatra, But there does come that point where you kind of go, you want to peak and kind of just retire gracefully, and then go to events and shake hands and go, that's the guy, Like Buzz Aldrin. He walks around, shakes hands, I was on the moon, and that's what he does, But it's nice to have that body of work behind you, accept it, and just, just sit back and go, yeah, that was a good run,
People don't realize the physical conditioning that it takes to be a magician.
Yeah.
I assume you have a routine that you do every day with your hands, with your body.
Yeah.
What is that routine?
I'm lucky because I work, pretty much every day, so I almost rehearse, professionally every day because I walk on stage. But people don't realize when you're not, to do a joke or to do comedy, it's a timing thing. You could be doing a joke every day, and if a waitress drops a tray in the middle of the joke, you screwed the damn thing up. You have to re-say it or re-change your wording to get the joke funny again. But it really is like dancing or like watching somebody score a basketball. It's 1, 2, 3, and he does it, boom. There's a sense of timing and movement with anything. So it's very important, I think, that you stay on top of it. Like when I saw Roseanne Barr start do comedy again about 7 years ago, she had a teleprompter and her notes. She hadn't been on the stage for 20 years because she had her TV show, And even though you're one of the best at what you do, you still got to get back on the bike and go,
I would encourage our viewers to go take a look at some of your videos because you create like almost a mistake in the
very Dennis the Menace, yes.
Yeah, Dennis and then turn it around and make it part of the act. So there's a way of taking lemons and making lemonade out of it, right?
Exactly. That's how you do it. That's the idea. Have a bunch of mistakes, and at the end you have a miracle.
Hey, so keep your eyes open, Murray, when he comes back from Europe performing.
Exactly.
I'm sure he'll show up. Be a big announcement somewhere.
Oh yeah, you'll see me very soon.
Hey, have a great trip.
Thank you again, buddy. I appreciate it.
Murray the Magician.
The Ed Bernstein.
My name is Sheila Logan, and I'm a client of Edward M. Bernstein and Associates. The qualities that I look for in an attorney are loyalty, honesty, and integrity. And I found that in Edward M. Bernstein.
I'm Ed Bernstein, and I make a wrong a right. So if you're looking for somebody who's going to treat you with respect and dignity and work as hard as humanly possible for you, give us a call.